Hey guys, and welcome back to the show today. Today I am at home. I couldn't quite make it out to the studio today, but I needed to record something because we're dropping this video this week. So wanted to come on really quick and talk about muscle spasms. Now, I want to talk about how you can fix muscle spasms for good. Now, muscle spasms are caused by aging and disuse and injury. And in this episode, I want to cut through the confusion of muscle spasms from disuse and aging so that I can provide you with some tips on how to improve your muscle spasms for good. Let's talk about what muscle spasms are. Now, muscle spasms that are from disuse, which is not using them through exercise and strengthening, and aging are painful contractions and tightening of the muscles that usually occur during rest or when we activate the muscle through movement. So we turn, we move our leg, or we move our arm, and then that spasm happens. These spasms are typically involuntary, and for some, it can be debilitating. Now, these muscle spasms occur as we age because muscles weaken, guys. We typically lose about 2% of our muscle mass as we age every year. And this is due to typical, normal aging and decline. And throughout our lifetimes, many things can occur to cause our muscles to become what I refer to as a deconditioned muscle. Now, this deconditioned muscle is a muscle that has begun a weakening process. And this process can begin as early as 24 hours after a trigger to our bodies. Now, a trigger to our bodies can be many things. So I just want you to be open-minded to what a trigger is, okay? As the muscle goes through stages of what we call deconditioning, your body's going to trigger compensation from other areas so that you can move. And I usually refer to this movement as normal movement. This could be rolling over in bed. This could be moving your leg. This could be walking the dog. It could be getting down and up from the floor. I think you understand what I'm talking about when I mean move. Now, when compensation is occurring over time and your body, you want to move and do the things you want to do, so your body wants you to do that. With this compensation, this time in this compensation pattern allows your muscle to become fully weakened, leading to the muscle becoming what we call inactive. Now, inactive muscle can lead to a atrophied muscle. That means the muscle doesn't work at all. It's empty. Atrophy in the medical field is called dead. Now, as this process occurs, there's a sheath, there's a covering to each one of your muscles, and that must tighten because of the density or the size of the muscle becoming smaller. And that's the body's way, when there's no response system communicating with that muscle anymore, to just tighten and shorten it. Over time, the body's going to stop signaling the muscle to activate. Now, this is what I refer to as the deconditioning process of a muscle. And it can take a short period of time, and you will not feel or see this process happening or occurring in your daily life. Now, until you move in one direction and the muscle spasm occurs, you're not going to even know that it's even happening. That's how amazing our bodies are. Now, the spasm is initiated, involuntary, and the spasm can be very painful. Most of you have already felt it. It can take your breath away, and it can be excruciating and debilitating. And guys, I have felt these spasms before. I have cried with my clients on the table as they've experienced these spasms. They are horrific. Now, what we are currently told in our healthcare system about muscle spasms and what treatment is provided for us is typically go stretch it. Get a massage, put a ball on it and roll on the ball, do foam rolling, or take muscle relaxants. And those tips are provided to help alleviate the pain from the muscle spasm. Now, in our holistic system, we're educated to eat bananas, take magnesium and potassium supplements to aid in improving pain from muscle spasms. And for many of you, these treatment recommendations don't work at all or work very minimally for a short time. I want to talk to you about how you can actually fix those muscle spasms. In order to get long-term, long-lasting relief from muscle spasms, you're going to have to seek treatment from professionals that specialize in the deconditioning cycle. Now, no amount of supplementation, massage, or stretching is going to restore a muscle that has become inactive. In fact, the only way to do this is through seeking hands-on treatment from a specialist. And this hands-on treatment will require a comprehensive exam that looks at natural joint mobility. It grades the level of muscle deterioration, and then it works with the neuromuscular system to restore the normal movement, reinitiate the nervous system firing, that pathway, and it has to be combined with progressive exercises that stimulate the muscle to refire and then progress to rebuilding the entire system affected by the deconditioning cycle. Okay, that was a mouthful. I need to tell you, if that process is not followed and not followed by a professional who knows how to follow that process, watch that process, and then re-prescribe the proper exercises, you're not going to get resolution of symptoms long term. Now, what is the deconditioning cycle? We, and when I say we, I mean the stretch method, we are now researching to learn more about the complexity of this cycle so that we can provide better overall programming for reconditioning the muscle to produce proper rebuilding. And we currently created skilled programming that focuses on the current state of this cycle. And our clients that are experiencing muscle spasms have seen a rebuild of muscles that were in a complete deconditioned atrophy state. We have been able to rebuild those. And as we continue to research in this area, we're going to continue to implement and build our proven programs that will help you and our communities overcome muscle spasms from aging and disuse. Now, common areas that muscle spasms occur in, it's all over the body, guys. A muscle spasm can occur any muscle in the body. It is going to be involuntary, and it's typically when you initiate a movement that requires a particular muscle to perform. And due to its state of deconditioning, it's unable to perform that action. So it causes a spasm because it contracts to try to do something. The sheath is tight, so it can't do it. Plus it's weak and it's not connected. So then a spasm occurs, and that, if you've experienced it, is very, very painful. And that can occur in any muscle in your body. I do want to kind of give you an example. If you take maybe your leg, your thigh muscle, and you take saran wrap, that saran wrap would mimic that sheath that I'm talking about that is surrounding that muscle that is now atrophied and dead. It's not working. It's not communicating through the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system. It's weak. It's not working, and the sheath is tight. Okay? So if you imagine a very, very, very weak muscle in your leg, and you take saran wrap to mimic that sheath, and you wrap your leg as tight as you can with that saran wrap, and then you go out and you run, and you come back, and you expect that you're going to be fine, and maybe 2 days later, that muscle starts twitching, or you go to straighten your leg and that hamstring just sort of spasms. It's kind of what is happening in the body when you have a weak muscle and a tightened muscular sheath and you're in that deconditioning cycle. Now, if you are experiencing painful muscle spasms due to disuse or age, we are here to help you. Proper exercise prescriptions and the stretch methodology are required to rebuild muscles that are in a deconditioned state. We combine that with the healing properties of a deep thermal laser treatment and the stretch method, and this is highly effective in rebuilding a deconditioned muscle. Now, the stretch method is not a stretching technique. In fact, it is a proven system and program developed to bridge the gap between what a skilled rehab professional can provide to help people outside our traditional insurance-based care system. You see, that insurance-based care system I call the reactive care system. It is supposed to stop your pain quick and let you do what you want to do. A stretch mobility coach is going to help take you from that point where they stop the pain, and we are going to find the problem. We are going to fix that problem and put you through a successful program of rebuilding and reprogramming so that you have a healthy musculoskeletal system, actually a healthy neuromusculoskeletal system. We say that the stretch methodology is stretching our professional education to incorporate well care services to those people like you who need more than what insurance-based care and based guidelines are going to offer you. Now, here's some prevention tips for you. I want you to maintain normal, healthy joint mobility throughout the body. And the only company that does that right now is a stretch mobility coach. Maintain healthy muscle strength and flexibility. Guys, you will not know that you have a muscle that is in a deconditioning state unless we test the joints, we test the muscles, we test to see how healthy your muscles are, and then we see how it works through functional movements. Eat less processed foods that cause inflammation. Sleep good. Work your cardiovascular system. Make sure you're not forgetting to strengthen your musculoskeletal system. Make sure you're working and helping to improve the health of your nervous system through consistent mindfulness and relaxation. Decrease stress by being authentic when you can. And then if you can, seek services that actually, let me turn this off. I've got a phone call coming in. That actually will regenerate damaged areas. That is going to help you even more while you're improving your joint mobility and refiring those muscles that have been shut off. Now, proven ways to relieve muscle spasms naturally and for good. The stretch method. I developed the stretch method, and it was developed as a proven process that takes you through a proven program that relieves pain and tightness associated with muscle spasms. Now, the stretch method is utilized only by stretch mobility coaches. My coaches are the only ones that I train on this method. And if you've got someone out there calling themselves something and they're not on my website, thestretchmobilitycoach.com, they were not trained by me. Now, what is a stretch mobility coach? A stretch mobility coach is certified in the stretch method, and it is a PTA that has stepped away from reactive care and has applied to train to work as a stretch mobility coach. They have to have a current license in their PTA field in their current state. And the stretch method is a post-degree training program that places natural long-term relief back into the hands of licensed and graduated professionals. Now, you can find a stretch mobility coach near you by going to my website, thestretchmobilitycoach.com. Then put a / find a coach. Now, if I don't have a coach near you, you can request a coach in your area, and we will be happy to look out to the many people that are reaching out to us right now and actually going through our training program. So I hope this information has helped you better understand what a muscle spasm is, why it happens, and what successful treatment looks like. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you.